What's going on YouTube? Splice Citrus here, back with another Genshin Impact video, and today I'm going to talk about why you, and myself included, are probably doing the Serenitea Pot wrong. Now let me explain.
Would you care?
Let's take a look at the Realm Depot here. Now one very important detail, after overlooking all this, is this little clause right down here. This shop refreshes all of these items once a week, basically, is what this amounts to. Now, I know you do need to be rank 6, I believe, trust rank 6 to get the transient resin, and I think it's 7 for everything else. I can't quite remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure you do need to be trust rank 7 to at least have everything in here unlocked. Now, I know it can be really exciting trying to get your trust rank up as quickly as possible. I know I've fallen prey to this. I have been spending every single piece of currency on buying new blueprints every single day to try to increase my trust rank, and currently I'm only 250 points away from hitting rank 9. So in light of this revelation that I have made in with the help of my my friend here, we were talking about this shop this morning, and he made me realize just how much I've been shooting myself in the foot in regards to this shop. But as I was saying, I will still hit rank 9. It should only take me a few more blueprints to hit it. But after that, I will be focusing 100% of my efforts on the shop first, with the exception of a few items, as well as blueprints second, because technically those blueprints are always going to be there. You can rank your trust rank up as slow as it needs to be. It's always going to be there. You can always buy those items. However, these are timed, and you can get more every single week. You can get, so for example, you can get one transient resin, which is basically a piece of fragile resin with a cooldown, I should say. Basically, if you don't use it, it will just disappear from your inventory exactly 1 week. Expiration time will be calculated from the Monday after it's obtained, and then 7 days from that. So you could technically have it for just about up to 2 weeks, but it will disappear out of your inventory if you don't use it. But you can gain an extra 60 resin per week, basically, by buying this. Now, I know it is expensive, and even at the currency cap, which requires 20,000 points, which, honestly, if you're not there by now, you're definitely doing it wrong. I've been at 20k for at least a week, if not more now. But at the 30 per hour currency income, it would still take you 40 hours just to earn the 1200, and even longer still if you're only making 28 per hour, 26, 24, etc., and so forth. But it's resin. I mean, this stuff would normally cost you an extra 50 primo gems to obtain. And like I said, those blueprints are always going to be there. Now we can take a look at the Hero's Wit as well. You can get 20 of these a week. They are 120 currency apiece. So if you wanted to buy all of them, it would cost you 2,400 realm currency. Mystic Ore, this is a little bit harder to obtain, of course, because you either have to farm the mining stuff by talking to both the blacksmith in Liwa and Mondstadt and have them mark some ore places for you to farm, but even then you're still only getting maybe a dozen to 20 ore a day, or crystal ore, and you need 5 of those crystal pieces just to make any of this mystic enhancement ore. And you can purchase up to 40 of these per week, and they are 60 currency apiece, so that's also 2,400 currency. Mora, same thing, 20 per week at a rate of 120. You get 10k Mora per 120 currency, and 2,400 to buy this out as well. Up next, we have the Sanctifying Essence. You can buy 5 of these per week for a grand total of 1,800. Now you might be wondering exactly how much Artifact XP is 10k. 10k Artifact XP is just about the equivalent of 2 oranges and 1 purple artifact, which would, if you did the 2 purple or 2 oranges and 1 purple, it would be 10,080 XP. So it's just barely underneath that threshold. But as we all know, artifacts cost resin. At least in almost every source. You could be completing the Spiral Abyss every cycle, and regardless of the number of stars you get, you still get an artifact just by completing the floor. So even if you are struggling with a particular floor, I had that backwards. You get an artifact for completing each chamber. So you've got floors 9, 10, 11, and 12. And even if you're struggling with floor 10 or you're struggling with 11 or 12, if you can at least even just complete them, you'll still get an artifact, of course. But that's really the only resin exempt way to earn artifacts. Otherwise, every other method to gain artifacts, whether it's domains or the world bosses, costs resin to obtain those artifacts. So the fact that you don't have to spend resin to gain extra artifact XP is pretty nice. Same thing with the Sanctifying Unction. These only give you 2,500 XP. You can buy 20 of these per week at 90 apiece, and that's going to be another 1,800. Now let's go back and examine the Transient Resin versus the Hero's Wit and the Mora. Now, your mileage may vary depending on your world level, but at the highest world level, which is currently 8, 60 resin, you could use that for 3 ley lines. Now, the XP ley lines at world level 8 gain you anywhere from 4 to 5 of the purple XP materials, in addition to a handful of the blue XP material on top of that. So, with 60 resin, you could earn anywhere from 12 to 15 Hero's Wit with the resin instead. So, price comparison, you could spend $1,200 on transient resin, or 1,200 currency on transient resin, and even if you only got 3 for each one, it would still beat the cost of buying 12 Hero's Wit. 12 Hero's Wit would cost you 1,440 currency. And if you got lucky and if you got 5 on all 3 ley lines and got 15, it would cost you 1,800 currency to get the Hero's Wit equivalent. So already beating out the Hero's Wit cost effectiveness there. Same thing with Mora. For Mora, you would get 60k flat. There is no up and down, there's no window. It's 60k per Mora ley line at world level 8. So, by completing 3 of those with the transient resin, you would get 180,000 Mora. So, and to get 180,000 Mora with just realm currency out of this shop, you'd have to buy 18 of these, and it's going to cost you 2,160 currency. So, if you had to pick, I would go with the transient resin and maybe just leave the Hero's Wit and the Mora on the table. Obviously exhausting the supply out of this entire shop, even at 30 currency per hour, it's going to just drain all of your currency every single week. So you kind of just got to pick and choose. But I would at least be buying the transient resin every single week. Absolutely for certain. And as soon as I hit rank 9, that is going to be a primary focus of mine. And I still have plenty of time this week. It doesn't reset until Monday. So I'll have plenty of time to regain 1200 currency and buy this transient resin. And I'll make sure I'll be buying the transient resin every single week going forward. Now, normally, like I said, yeah, everything else on this board usually takes resin to obtain. Obviously, you can get some of this stuff via events. Mora, you can even just do like world events for friendship every day. It gives you 1 or 2k Mora. I mean, it's not much, but it's something. But obviously not substantial. It's not going to get you anywhere. So yeah, the fact that all this stuff costs resin to obtain. You can use it to supplement or possibly even replace. Like maybe if you're hard up, maybe you're just really trying to level up a character right now and you could really use the extra artifact XP to gain, to level up some of those artifacts for that new character of yours. That way you can focus on the character ascension materials and possibly talent materials and do the talent domains and the applicable world boss depending on who you're trying to level up, and then you can use some currency to help get your artifacts leveled up for that character. You know, the possibilities are endless depending on what you're trying to accomplish currently in the game. Make sure you're utilizing this shop. It is entirely extremely useful. Think about it. Every single week you can buy any of these items. Blueprints will always be there. Rethink how you're doing the Serenitea Pot. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one.